All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Full Send Half Mass Podcast, episode 127. This weekend, we had an onslaught of races, amazing races. We had the 24 Hours of Le Mans with some great twists and turns, a great race as always. We also had NASCAR with their Mexico City debut for the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series returns. Talk about those races tonight. Formula One Canadian Grand Prix this weekend. A little bit of controversy there in the McLaren camp with can't go Lando Norris and some IndyCar racing at Gateway this weekend. Um, I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. This was a great weekend of racing. One of the best weekends of the year so far with racing. We said that last week on the podcast. This had the potential to be absolutely amazing, and I think that it definitely delivered this weekend. So we'll talk about those races with you guys here tonight. Tom, maybe here later. He is running a little late. He has some prior obligations, but for the time being, I'll be hosting for this early part of the podcast. And if Tom makes it, we'll get his thoughts and opinions on the races this weekend as well. Also, go over our infamous driver and bonehead of the week segments. We got some good nominees this week. We also have some point standings. The playoff cut line with SVG winning this weekend. We'll talk about what the cut line looks like for the playoff grid. F1 standings and the gap that Piastri has built now with Lando Norris's issues this weekend in Formula One, as well as the IndyCar standings with currently only two different drivers who have won this season, and what could be for Kyle Kirkwood. I'm gonna say Kirk Kirkwood because that's what the other people call him these days. Kirk Kirkwood. What could have been without that disqualification at Indianapolis as he continues to kind of eat away at the Alex Palou lead in the point standings. And then we'll round out the podcast at the end, like we always do, with our predictions, our dark horses, our favorites, as well as what to expect with the Trucks Xfinity and Cup Series weekend at Pocono, the Michelin Pilot Challenge in IMSA at Watkins Glen for the 6-hour race there, and then IndyCar and Indy NXT at Road America, which is one of my favorite tracks. I love Road America, especially IndyCars at Road America. It's going to be awesome, so I'll give you previews on those. Alrighty. First off, start the podcast. Sorry about the watch party. We did not get to run a watch party this weekend for the Mexican uh NASCAR race this weekend. Unfortunately, been busy, very busy, trying to keep this YouTube channel rolling and smooth and going along. On top of the other things I have going on in my personal life as well. So I apologize for the watch party. We will try to make that up to you guys. Uh, on a further date or a later date because I do enjoy doing those watch parties and I kind of missed out on being able to do that with you guys here this weekend. So I do apologize for that. First off, one thing I do want to talk about is with the news related thing is with the IndyCar delaying the new chassis till 2028. There was rumors it was maybe 2026, maybe 2027 kind of got delayed too, and now it's going to be 2028. Um, I'm not really too devastated or disappointed in the delay of this chassis. I think that the DW12 is just amazing and it's super or the DW12 is just amazing. It's a great race car. I think IndyCar right now, especially with the hybrid system, once we got some of the bugs and everything tweaked out, I think IndyCar is in a place now better off than I feel like it has been in a long time. The product on road courses is amazing, street courses is amazing, as well as the ovals. And we had a great oval race this weekend. Even though I'm not a huge oval fan in IndyCar, I thought this weekend's race was pretty damn awesome. Lots of great moves, lots of great battles. So delaying this new chassis till 2028, I don't think is a bad thing. I think we need to embrace this car and root for the great racing that we've been having, and hopefully it continues because right now the product in IndyCar is fantastic and you've seen what happened in other racing series when they've decided to redesign or make a new car, specifically the NASCAR series with the Gen 7 car and how colossal of a failure that car became. Maybe delaying this car till 2028. Maybe they can work out some of the bugs, have some more time for testing, and maybe have a good car going into 2028 where they can hit the ground running and continue and build off the success that they've continued to provide on a weekend basis with IndyCar series and the great racing, the great product, the safe cars, which we'll talk about with Joseph Newgarden's incident this weekend. That was just absolutely horrific, but walked away just fine. So um, I don't think it's a bad thing that we're delaying this car till 2028. All right, let's start this podcast off with talking about the 24-hour Le Mans. I mean, the one third of the Motorsports Triple Crown, one of the most marquee events of the year, just an absolute marathon. And this was a different 24-hour Le Mans than I've seen the last few years. We had essentially a pretty clean race for the most part. We did have LMP2s, which that's what we predicted. I mean, you watch any type of endurance race with LMP2 cars in it, that's kind of what you expect. There wasn't very many moments in that race where you didn't see LMP2 cars running over each other, running over GT3s, losing control, spin it out off in a gravel trap or in a barrier somewhere. LMP2s absolutely put on a show as always. I like the meme that I saw. It was like hypercar and they were all like happy, and there was GT3 barely keeping their head above water, and then it was LMP2 just dead, sunk at the bottom of the pool. It was so funny. I pretty much summarizes the race for LMP2. Congratulations to Euro Interpol for getting the win this weekend. Fantastic job. They executed. They were pretty much up front the whole race. I mean, they uh, once they got into a couple hours into the race, it kind of a lot of the big contenders started to kind of whittle themselves down or make mistakes and have issues. And the Euro Interpol just limited the mistakes, limit or ran a fantastic race, great strategy, and were able to put themselves at the front of the field late and were able to maintain for the win. So congratulations to them. Great job by them. And then in GT3, the few things I do want to talk about with GT3 was the number 46 BMW. They were running up in the top two early parts of that race. It looked like they were going to have a great car. But around the halfway point, they end up having mechanical issues, went behind the wall. So rip to the Valentino Rossi fan club, me included, as we didn't get to see his first sports car win come to fruition this weekend in the most prestigious race. I would have loved to see it. I was pulling for him hard all race long, trying to see if they could get their way to the front of the field and maintain the front of the field. Just never were able to survive the distance. And the last couple years, it was either a teammate messing up or maybe a little bit of pace deficit. But this year, they had the pace. They didn't make any mistakes. They just had mechanical issues. So it's like one of these years, it's all just got to line up perfectly where everything goes good with no mistakes, have the pace as well as no mechanical failures. And I think that we might see that BMW team find victory lane here sooner rather than later. All right, we do need to talk about the race in hypercar early on in this race. You saw the Porsches kind of control the beginning of the race, especially let's talk about Kevin Estre at the beginning of this race with his amazing stint. The Porsche failed pre-race inspection or pre-qualifying inspection, even gonna put a qualifying time in for underweight. They started dead last, 21st on the grid. Estre with by hour 2, I believe he was already up into the top 4. I mean, just an absolute freaking fantastic drive, just slicing and dicing through the field. And that became the Porsche that was really the Porsche to contend. The 5 and the 4 looked like they had something early. They kind of faded late or in the middle parts of the race, and then definitely didn't have anything late. So that was unfortunate. But my my pick was the number 6 Porsche. I said they were going to win the race. It was my bold prediction in the offseason. If you guys remember, this was the one I was the most confident in, the one I pumped the hardest. I said Porsche and Roger Penske, they're going to finally win Le Mans. It's like the last thing on the checklist for Roger Penske to accomplish in motorsports. I mean, he's done it all. I was like, this is the year. I mean, Porsche's fast. They proved it in IMSA. They've been the best team in IMSA. World Dirt Championship side, Ferrari's been the best. They've been trying to catch up to Ferrari with the BOPs, which we'll talk about here more in a minute. But the sixth Porsche just at the end of the race, they were trying to do God's work, right? Basically trying to absolutely upset the world. I saw another meme where it was like everybody was cheering for all the Alpine fans, BMW fans, Toyota fans, all the fans of all the different manufacturers. Everybody was all bought into the Porsche to win this race. Everybody wanted to see Ferrari go down and get beat, and it just did not come to fruition. The number 83 Ferrari, which the AF Corsa team, shout out to them this weekend. If you remember last year, they were the most dominant car in the race at 24 Hour Le Mans. It was during the nighttime segments around halfway, or maybe just shy of halfway. They ended up having that incident where they ran into the BMW and sent him up into the guardrails. They had like a long 2-hour safety car for cleanup. They ended up getting a penalty from that, put them like 40 something seconds behind. Were never able to recover and win that race, even though they had the best car. They got redemption this year. They were not the best car early in this race, not even at the halfway point they were the best car, but once they got to the lead, they were untouchable. It was awesome to see Robert Kubica, get to victory lane, uh, and then Yi, the first one I think it was the first Chinese driver to win the 24-hour Le Mans, which is pretty cool as well. They just ran a fantastic race. Uh, the pace was there, the strategy was there. Um, no mistakes. I mean, there was one mistake, I believe. I think it was Yi or maybe Nielsen was behind the wheel, and they ended up going off into this gravel trap from the lead. Didn't lose, but maybe 4 or 5 seconds in that transition. So that kind of was really the only big mistake that I really even saw that they made during the entire race. Just absolute dominance, great performance. I do want to talk about Paul Di Resta and the Peugeot. Before we even got into an hour into the race, he had absolutely TKO'd the Peugeot. He was trying to go to the outside of some LMP2 and some GT3 traffic, uh, and just absolutely kept his foot in it, which was kind of dumb. And drove straight up into the guardrail and absolutely TKO'd the rear end of that car. Body panels flying, flailing off. Also, shout out to the number 7 Toyota. Obviously, at a complete disadvantage with the BOPs. Toyota, if you guys have been tuned into the channel or even into World Endurance Championship, we've been talking about it for months now that the BOPs for Toyota have just been god awful. Well, the number 7 Toyota got damaged early in the race, and they ran the entire race with a little bit of aero damage the entire time and still had pace. I was impressed by the number 7 Toyota. They were never advantaged to win even with a good car, but the fact that they had a damaged car and were able to compete for the most part was pretty damn impressive. Um, that was fun to watch. And then I had something else I was gonna say, but it completely went over my head. So overall, I guess we'll just round it out. It was a great race. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Endurance racing. Watching the Porsche try to battle at the front and try to compete with the Ferraris was a great storyline. Just never came to fruition. I was just waiting on a mistake or something to happen to the one of the of course the Ferrari just never happened. The other Ferraris were fast as well. The six Porsche did end up overcoming. One of the Alpines at one time got stuck in a gravel trap, which that was my dark horse coming in. It just sounded like they never really had the pace either. Aston Martin, rest in peace, their souls. They just never were competitive. The Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac was god awful. The Jodas were good early with the Cadillacs, and then they completely faded. The Whelen Action Express team was up there in the top 6, 7 for the first 4 or 5 hours of the race. They kind of faded late. I mean, Cadillac is a joke. They just did not have the pace. They qualified up front 1-2 at Joda, and that was it. I mean, they had nothing left for the rest of the day. They had the qualifying pace, they just never had the race pace. That was unfortunate to see. Um, and Porsche, like I said, that was probably the best contender for Ferrari, especially the number 6 Porsche, which was my pick. Um, my bold prediction didn't come true, man. I wanted to see it happen so bad. I wanted to see Penske and Porsche finally get that win and somebody to dethrone Ferrari, who's just on an absolute freaking tear right now. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Ferrari could win every race this year. Ah, BOPs. BOPs, man. Are we gonna get one of Ferrari here in the next few races? I doubt it. It looks like the FIA is in bed with Ferrari right now, and they're not gonna give them any harsher BOPs, but that car is just unbeatable. It's fast on low speed corners, fast on high speed corners. It's got straight line speed, it's got incredible downforce. I mean, the car is just superior in every possible way. And the only way anybody's gonna be able to catch up is you just gotta BOP it. That's it. I mean, it's got too much power, too much downforce. It's like the McLaren F1 right now. Whatever they did engineering wise for that Ferrari over the last 2 years, it's superior. It's unbeatable. It's an unbeatable car. And then you handicap the rest of the field with BOPs. Um, and nobody's gonna touch it. Nobody's gonna touch it. I don't know how Ferrari does not sweep the season. I mean, it's gonna especially with 3 cars, because you could say, oh, one race maybe they have a little bit of troubles, but they got 3 cars. They got 3 freaking bullets in the chamber to try and win every race. And it's like even if one car has a mistake, you still got 2 more lined up behind it to take the win. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see Ferrari get beat anytime soon this year. All right, let's talk about the Xfinity Series race, the Shilanga 150 at Mexico City. Um, Daniel Suarez wins. Starts dead last on the field. Hometown win for Daniel Suarez. That was a shocker for me. It looked like Zilich and Gibbs had the best 2 cars. I mean, obviously, they had the best 2 cars, battling really hard at the front. One of the late race restarts, Zilich made a mistake. He hopped the curb, ends up going around and causing a big stack up, took out Gibbs, took out Mayer, took out a few other cars that were pretty fast up at the front of the field. And that pretty much was all she wrote for Daniel Suarez to go off and sell off to win the victory. I'm just gonna say, I see a lot of people on social media like saying, "Wow, there's like that road course racing is great." The Xfinity cars. I'm not even a road course guy. I hate road courses, but man, that was fun to watch. This is why we need more of them. They are the best races. Watching Xfinity car series cars on road courses is absolute mint and magic. I remember the Gen 6 car and even the Gen 5 car on road courses in the Cup Series. Some of the best races ever come on road courses, especially like the Watkins Glen Thrillers. We had some great ones at Sonoma. We had a great one at Road America before they decided to axe that off the schedule. I mean, the road courses in NASCAR are the best races. I think we need to run like 12 of them a year. I mean, honestly, I don't understand why we don't. It's would you rather run at Richmond and Martinsville and Phoenix and all of these freaking Iowas of the world where we know we got the Jesus Stone tires, you're not going to see any passing. It's going to be a pretty boring and dull race, not a lot of drama. Or do you want to go take them to a road course where we got beaten and banging and cars slipping and sliding up through the corners and off the track, through a gravel trap, turning each other around, wheel hopping, wheel lockups. I mean, sliding around, spinning out, slamming into barriers, moving tire packs. I mean, that's just entertainment. Side by side racing, comers and goers, alternate strategies. I mean, just extremely entertaining. Anything and everything you want in a race, you got it this weekend with the Xfinity Series race at Mexico City. I mean, it was freaking awesome, dude. I mean, that was an awesome race. It was fun to watch. So many great highlights and moments. Watching Zilich and Gibbs battling it out for the lead, just on and off. And again, the whole first 2/3 of that race was so much fun to watch. Even through the pit sequence, when Zilich and Gibbs are on alternate pit strategy, they come out like basically nose to tail racing off a pit lane. I mean, that was just freaking mint. That was fantastic racing. Cinema. And that's exactly what we need in NASCAR. We need more of that. We need more of that action, more of that beating and banging, more of those road course slipping and sliding. And then it brings in more flair too, because you could bring in some more road course regulars. It shakes it up, giving some of these other guys that race like sports cars and stuff opportunities to come in and race. So it'd be fun, man. It's just the way it needs to be. That's the way NASCAR is. I would rather run 8 Mexico cities than one Richmond, in my opinion. Like that's just the way I feel. And I don't think unless we do something to this car or drastically change the racing package or even the rules with the stages and everything, nothing's going to really change my mind on that. The only good short tracks that we've had the last few years was this year's All-Star race and then Bristol a couple of years ago with the tire problems, or last year Bristol. Other than that, man, the short tracks are sucked. They're terrible. I'd rather watch road racing, especially when you build a car specifically for road racing. Like this car is a purpose-built road racing car. Like we need to be racing on road courses more often. That's just my opinion. Fight me, hate me, whatever. Let me know in the comments below where I'm wrong or where I'm right. All right. And then Sunday, we also had the Canadian Grand Prix. Again, I just got to shout out Mercedes here. That what a fantastic weekend that they had. They both qualified up front. George Russell qualifies a pole. And I say this all the time, and I'll say it time and time and time again. George Russell is the best B driver probably in Formula One history. And by saying that, he's not like an A guy. He's not a guy that he's not like a Max Verstappen or an Oscar Piastri or a Sebastian Vettel in his prime, or even I don't even know. It's just an Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. He's not like that guy that's just gonna be able to take like a third place car and find a way to win a race or maybe steal a spot on the podium, or just be able to get more out of the car than what the car is capable of. He drives the car to its limit, and that's all the ability he has. That's his talent level, and there's nothing wrong with that because he qualifies pole. And what does he do? He maintains the lead the whole race and wins the race. That's what you want out of a B driver. He is the best B driver in probably the history of Formula One. He will always, always find a way to finish the race where he qualified or where it should run. That's good. That's what you want. And you want a consistent driver as a B driver on your team to help you score points for a world championship. The problem is they're lacking an A driver, and I think we might get that with Kimi Antonelli. Tom's been super high on him. I was iffy on him up until this year, and I've seen what he's been able to do as a rookie in that Mercedes. It's been impressive. Um, I think Kimi Antonelli is getting primed to be that A driver over there at Mercedes. And with him and George Russell as a lineup, if Kimi Antonelli continues to get this experience and keeps moving up the grid like he's been doing, he's the first podium. He's the third youngest driver in the history of Formula One to get a podium. It's just fantastic job this weekend. Was third place the whole race. It's what you want to do. If they could prime him up to being the next A driver there at Mercedes, along with the best B driver in the history of Formula One with George Russell, that team could be unstoppable. That team could probably win constructors championships in the next few years. I mean, that's a great driver lineup to have going into the future. I like where Mercedes is headed. Their car seems fast. That was probably the best performance I've seen out of Mercedes in a long time. Yes, they had that win last year at Silverstone, obviously, which was a pretty impressive run, but I don't think they had the best car there. And then obviously the one they had at Vegas, but that one was pretty much over before it really started with the way that that race kind of played out. This felt like one of the more impressive Mercedes runs we've seen in the last couple of years. So congratulations, George Russell and that whole Mercedes team, especially Kimi Antonelli with that P3 finish. That's going to nominate him for a Driver of the Week nominee. Max Verstappen P2, trying his damnedest to put that Red Bull on his back and carry it forward and try to find victory lane with that race car. Try to stay in contention here for the World Championship, which it looks like it's getting slimmer and slimmer day in and day out here for him. We'll see if he can maybe find some more pace throughout the summer and maybe close back in on those McLarens. The big drama of this race, though, is between the McLarens. I said it. I said it a few weeks ago. I said, when are we going to see the Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton, Spain 2016 moment between Piastri and Norris? When are we going to see it? When are these two guys, with as fast as their cars are, as much as Lando's pressing and getting hormonal, like he's on his period or something, when is something finally going to like tip over and hit the boiling point? Or when are they going to hit the iceberg, like go down like the Titanic? Well, we got close this weekend, boys. We got close this weekend. Lando Norris was battling Piastri for P4 late in the race. He got by him off of the final hairpin, headed for the final chicane. Piastri was able to get back by him, and then Norris kind of did one of those early breaks and then was able to kind of roll the chicane and try to get a big launch off the corner, which he did, and then he opened DRS down the front straightaway. Piastri just stuck it in the middle of the track, which I think was the most brilliant defense you could do. You're going to either force him to go to the left or the right of you, depending on where he gets his run and how he wants to plan, how Norris wants to plan for turn one. Well, by doing that, Piastri didn't move. He stayed in his spot. Lando Norris had an option. I could go to the right where there's more room, or maybe I could fit it to the outside and have preferred advantage into turn number one. Well, there wasn't enough room on that left side, Lando. Lando just absolutely drove it off into the grass, into the wall. I mean, just absolutely killed his race, absolutely choked away all the points he was going to earn in that race. Bonehead move. I mean, if I feel like if you're Lando in that situation, I don't understand what you were doing by going to the left side. I know you wanted inside position in the corner, but there wasn't enough room. Piastri did a great job at defending. I feel like you had better chances if you're trying to pass him. Just try to go to the non-preferred entry into turn one. You're going to get side by side with him. Maybe you can outbrake him. I don't know. But then if you have the outside position in turn one, then it double backs again. So if you could stay to the outside, maybe outbrake him, you're going to have inside position for the turn two. I just don't understand what he was thinking. He was trying to go to the outside to have inside preventage into turn one. It was just stupid. Drives it into the wall. And then the only thing that saves it for me here, obviously still going to get nominated Bonehead of the Week. It was just stupid maneuver. Stupid move by Lando Norris. But I guess the only savior grace here is that he didn't get out and blame Piastri. Didn't go moaning, but whine and complain and bitch about Piastri, because Piastri did nothing wrong. Piastri did exactly what any logical or smart race car driver would have done there. You obviously do not have the advantage because the car behind you's got the DRS with the slipstream. He definitely had a better final chicane than him because Piastri was trying to outbrake him into the chicane, while Lando just decided, I'll give it up at the chicane, I'll back it up, I'll get a better run off the corner. So So Piastri just did everything he possibly could have done. It really was at a disadvantage. So what does he do? He positions his car in the only spot possible, make Lando Norris have to. Okay, I'm back. Everything froze. So Piastri did everything right in that scenario and in that position. And Lando Norris absolutely choked it. And I'm glad that he didn't go out and start bitching and moaning and whining. I'm glad Zach Brown didn't pull out his clown makeup and do his deal and our deal, his song and dance and his prissy little moves, or his little stupid face that he always makes. Glad none of that stuff happened. Lando owned it, and rightfully so. And with that being said, the championship standings now in the Formula One with the driver standings now, Piastri's up 22 points over Norris. That's over a full race now. And then Verstappen is 43 back, so that's like 2 races. So I'm not going to say it's over for Verstappen. Never count out Max Verstappen in any scenario, but it's looking slimmer and slimmer day in and day out. Piastri is looking primed to be a world champion. I mean, it is unbelievable. The pace. He out-qualifies Lando every weekend. And that was the thing we were talking about early in the season. We said if Piastri is going to be able to beat Norris for this world championship, one of 2 things or both are going to happen. He's going to have to out-qualify him, and he's going to have to hope that they give him, after out-qualifying Norris, the preferred strategy to be able to keep him in the front of the field. Well, so far, that's happening. And he's out-qualifying Norris on a weekly basis. He's getting preferred strategy by out-qualifying Norris. Norris is cooked. I mean, and you saw it this weekend, the desperation out of Norris with the wrong move that he made to put himself in danger and be able to wreck his car. The desperation's there. He knows he is disadvantaged. He knows he's not going to be able to beat Oscar Piastri heads up when it comes to qualifying and when it comes to race pace. So that's where we sit. That's where we sit right now with this World Championship. Constructors, Mercedes is now ahead of the little trifecta there, battle for P2 in the Constructors Championship, because obviously it's over with McLaren way out ahead. But Mercedes is 16 points over Ferrari and then 37 points over Red Bull, who's in 4th. I think it's going to be a great battle between Ferrari and Mercedes down to the end. I think Mercedes, I would give them the heads up or the leg up over Ferrari, considering what we've seen out of Ferrari to start this year and the terrible strategies and consistency that we've seen out of Ferrari. The thing that gets me at Ferrari right now is, when does Ferrari usually turn it up? It's usually around this time of the year. They usually figure it out around the summer months. Like, they start off terrible, they get it figured out, and then they go terrible again, and then they're terrible, and then they're good again. Like, we're at that point now where if we don't start seeing some pace out of Ferrari, we don't see race winning pace, I don't think we're going to this year. I think Ferrari's just cooked. I'm just not seeing it. The best we had was Monaco, and I think that's because that's just Charles Leclerc's best track. He kind of put the team on his back there. Unless we see something change out of Ferrari, I think Mercedes is going to pull second out of this Constructors Championship this year. All right, next we do need to talk about the Indy NXT race real quick, shortly. Great run by Lockie Hughes, by the way. I gotta say that. Hauger was up at the front early. Kyle Collette went by him. It looked like Kyle Collette's race to win. He led basically from lap 4 to lap 60, but with 15 laps to go, Lockie Hughes went from P4 to the lead, making moves on the outside, and then he gets the lead and he opens a massive gap. I mean, what an unbelievable drive by Lockie Hughes. I would, if he didn't win the race, but he would have finished like maybe P2, and with what he did in this race, I would put him nominee for driver of the week. But since he won, I can't really put him as driver of the week. But damn, what an absolute drive that he put on in this race. Fantastic drive. That P4 to P1 in just a handful of laps. So when the race looked like it was over, I mean, it looked like Kyle Collette had it under control. He was going to win the race. And then and you look back and it was what? Dennis Hauger P2, Miles Rowe P3, and then Lockie Hughes P4. And next thing you know, Lockie Hughes is up to the outside of Rowe. Boom, goes around. And it wasn't even like a lap later, he's to the outside of his teammate Dennis Hauger. Boom, passes him up on the outside. And then you look up and he's just reeling in Kyle Collette, who's just stuck behind traffic. And you're sitting there like, holy cow, he's going to do it. And he did. He got to the outside, went right around Kyle Collette, and it checked off. I mean, he was gone. I mean, rocket ship. Unbelievable. Absolute amazing race by Kyle Collette. I think this is the best NXT race I've seen all year. we've had some pretty good snoozers this year in the Indiana NXT. I'm not gonna lie. Dennis Hauger's just been killing it. Lockie Hughes did have that win at Indianapolis because of the incident that Dennis Hauger had early, but it's really not been that competitive in Indiana NXT this year. We haven't seen a lot of passing. We've seen a couple good runs here and there. Like Miles Rowe had a good run at Barber. Uh, and God, I can't remember his name. Big Daddy Papasavas. Yeah, Papasavas. Papua New Guinea, as Tom says. He had a great run at Indianapolis as well, and then as well as Barber. But other than that, we really haven't seen any great runs. But this was an amazing run this weekend by Dennis Howard or by Lockie Hughes. Maybe close the championship gap to his teammate a little bit. Maybe we can have a little bit of a battle going down to the rest of the season. All right, let's talk about the Cup race. I want to save the IndyCar race for last because, by God, dude, what a race that was. Cup race, SVG, dominant performance. Absolute dominant performance. Career win number 2. Me and Tom called it last week on the podcast. We said this was the week SVG was going to win, get himself back into the playoff contention, or get himself into playoff contention with this win. This was huge. Now he's in the playoffs with the win in your in system. It was a matter of time before he won another road course. I mean, he is so good. I mean, Coda didn't go his way, choked at Watkins Glen. Indianapolis that last year didn't go too well. I mean, he's had some good runs, just not like winning runs, I guess, since the Chicago one. He finally gets a second career win and a dominant performance. Ty Gibbs battled with him there at the beginning of the race. The first 2 stages, it was between him and Gibbs. And then I don't know what Gibbs' team was thinking with the strategy calls that they had. I mean, they pitted, lost track position at one point when nobody else pitted, when SVG and like Bowman and a couple other guys stayed out. I thought that was pretty dumb. I did not like that strategy call. He wasn't able to get through traffic as good as I think he should have been able to with how good his car was. That was kind of dumb. And then pitting later than the leaders, I didn't see what that, and then obviously it comes back to bite him because Hocevar stalled on the track. They have to throw a yellow, which granted, shout out to NASCAR a little bit on that one. I understand, like, I'm kind of the guy where I'm always like, we need to throw the yellow right away, if we see a car sideways on the track, it's unsafe. And I still feel that way. But then again, it's like in IndyCar, they've done this forever. Where if we're in the middle of a green flag pit sequence, which we were at that time, they usually try to let a good amount of the cars be able to get to pit road to be able to make that pit stop to not kind of screw the race over for them. And NASCAR kind of played the razor's edge with that. They tried to not throw the yellow, which I appreciate, but then they threw it, which I appreciate. So it's like, I can't be too mad about that situation. Yeah, it kind of hurt some guys. It helped some others. But they tried their best to try and let it play out that pit sequence, which I appreciate NASCAR's effort in trying to do that. I'm always on here shitting on NASCAR and taking shots at NASCAR as much as I possibly can when they do bad stuff. But I'm also not going to come up here and not give them credit when credit is due. And I feel like in that situation, he was trying to get it restarted. He was in kind of a compromised spot, but kind of not. I mean, it just kind of depends how you look at it. Glass half full, half empty kind of scenario there. I like NASCAR trying to let that pit sequence play out a little bit. So I got to give him some credit for that. We got to talk about KFB. Oh, man. It was raining early in the race. He ends up locking up, spins sideways, ends up absolutely TKOing Justin Haley, Kyle Larson, Zane Smith. I think Chase can't go, Chase Briscoe, and whatever. Let's go, Briscoe. What a loser that guy is. Ends up taking all them out, ruins their races. KFB, I think he's cooked. I think his playoff chances are done. I just don't, unless he wins a race, I just don't see Kyle Busch being able to point his way in at this point. And then we also got some more drama out of old Recce Roundhouse and Hosen Karsavar. I don't know what's going to come from this. I don't know if we're going to see a social media world star fight clip coming out here over the next couple days. I don't know if he's going to run into him at a Waffle House and run into the Dell truck and we're going to have an altercation. I don't know if he's going to have his fighting britches on. SpongeBob pants. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to dump him intentionally in a future race. I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to boil over between old Recce Roundhouse and old Hosen Karsavar, which is kind of ironic because Recce Roundhouse early career is very similar to what we got with Hosen Karsavar right now. Very similar parallels here. I don't know. It's a little interesting, a little sketchy on my opinion, between those two. I don't know what's going to come of it. I'm here for the drama. I'm here for it. I want to see it. I want to see some craziness happen. I'm a huge fan of Hossein Karsvar. And Reki was having a great year until 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when Host and Karsvar got into him there at Nashville, and it's kind of gone downhill ever since for Recchi. And I don't think it's going to get any better. He's not a great road racer. The cars aren't running good. We got a lot of road courses coming up. I think Recchi's chances of playoffs are pretty much cooked as well. We still have that one Daytona race coming up and Atlanta before the playoffs. Those will probably be his best two chances to find a victory to get himself locked in. But pointing his way in, I think that's done. I think it's going to be I'm going to go after Hossein Karsavar vendetta for the rest of the year for him. Um, but he didn't get into a fight there in Mexico City, which is probably good because um, I don't know if he'd be back in the States right now if he did. So that'd have been funny. Seeing his mugshot in the Federale. All right. Point standings. That's what I want to talk about with the cut line. With SVG winning this weekend, the cut line looks like this. Bowman is 15th in points, 3 points above Busher, who is on the cut. And then Busher is 19 points ahead of his teammate Ryan Preece, who is 17 on the playoff grid. So, interesting. It's gonna be wild these next few weeks. Bowman did have a good run this weekend, though. Tom called it. I got to give him credit on the podcast. He said Bowman was gonna have a great run this weekend at Coda, or I mean, excuse me, at Mexico City. And I was on the fence about it. I know how good and underrated of a road racer Bowman is, but with the back injury and the inconsistency they've had throughout this last month and a half, I just didn't see it, and he did. He ended up finishing fourth. A great run by him. Chase ended up with a P3, which is probably the best freaking result I've seen him have in freaking year and a half, dude. Holy cow. But and then Bell was P2, which he had a pretty interesting weekend as well, especially in that Xfinity race where he locked it up one time, ended up having mechanical issues on pit entry. Yeah, he had a rough go at it, but he did make the best of it during post race. He said his car was good enough, but he just wasn't good enough to beat SVG. SVG was just dominant, man. SVG is a beast, dude. Shane Van Gisbergen, man, he's a beast, dude. He's the man. And he was sick too. I mean, he's an incredible driver, dude. He's fun to watch. Put him on a road course. I don't care anywhere. I think he's probably the best stock car driver in the world on road courses, and it's not even close. I mean, he is just unbelievable. I mean, I would kind of consider the V8 Supercar a stock car for the most part. And obviously the Cup cars. I think he's the best stock car racing road racer there is, man. He's unbelievable. Alrighty. Save the best for last. We got to talk about the IndyCar race, the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, late Sunday night. That was a freaking banger of a freaking race, man. I'm going to tell you what, this race was absolute cinema, dude. IndyCar this year, guys, if you're not watching it, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, man. This has been one of the wildest, craziest IndyCar seasons I have personally ever seen. This is just freaking cinema week in and week out. I think Fox is killing it, by the way. Their NASCAR coverage sucks, but their IndyCar coverage has been pretty damn good so far this year. Obviously it starts with the booth talent. I think they've got great booth talent. I think Townsend Bell is probably one of the top 3 broadcasters in the world. I think he's amazing. I think Hinch brings a good perspective to the booth as well. I think he's extremely entertaining. But him and Townsend just feed off each other so well. And Will Buxton, man, a lot of people give him a lot of shit and just don't really like him because I think it's the British factor in the United States. I think that's what it is. Like, you hear Lee Diffie all the time as well because of the accent. But I think Will Buxton's doing a fantastic job. Never covered ovals before. I think he did a great job in this race. Really, on the play-by-play end, really kept it entertaining, kept it spicy. Had great insight. I think he's doing a fantastic job, and I think he's only going to get better, man. Like he's new to this whole IndyCar broadcasting play-by-play thing, especially at the ovals. I think he's doing a fantastic job, and no better group to have around him than Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe. I think they do a fantastic job as well. I did want to mention that. We got to talk about it. DeFrancesco wrecked out early. Gets out of the car, kind of pulls a Colton Herta. They end up pulling it back to the garage. They say, no, you're good to go. So he's running through the pit lane, trying to get back to his race car. And the cameraman's following him and chasing him the best he can. And all of a sudden, you just see Devlin stop. And the camera just stops. And you see the camera point up to the air like this. Next thing you know, the camera's down like this. And you see the cameraman face planted into the asphalt. And he's like, oh. It's the freaking most priceless thing I've ever seen, man. That was the funniest thing, watching the cameraman take an absolute dive bomb. I mean, You didn't see it. You saw the camera point to the sky, or you saw the camera like run into the back of Devlin. And then you see it go, got to point to the sky. And then next thing you know, the camera, I guess, like must have tilted like this, landed right next to the face of the cameraman, face down in the asphalt. Man, that was, you can't make it up, man. You cannot make up this IndyCar season, bro. It's insane. And then not even that, but then we have a pit stop after a caution, and you get Christian Lundgaard misses his box. He puts that thing in reverse, which is a no-no. Like, you can't do that in IndyCar. He puts his thing in reverse. You see Ritt Rasmussen leave his pit box, look, shades of the Indy 500 with his teammate Alexander Rossi. The car's on fire, dude. He's a freaking screaming fireball going out pit lane. The fire dissipates. They're navigating Lundgaard as he's got this thing in. I mean, just cinema, dude. And the fact that they didn't wad him up on pit lane was just incredible there. Unbelievable. And then we got to talk about the troubles with Penske, man. Oh, goodness gracious. Will Power running P2, ends up having a tire go down. His race is done. McLaughlin had issues. He led some portions of this race. He ended up having some mechanical issues late, took him out of contention, which sucks for McLaughlin, just having a rough go at it this year. When it was the championship hopeful coming in, man. I mean, God, it's just been a rough year as a Scotty Mac fan, Scotty Mac in general. And then we got to talk about the other Penske driver, Newgarden, leading the race. We're going to commercial break, and they do a cutaway to show a Newgarden, like in like the studio, the Fox studio before the season, like doing the promos and stuff. And then it instantly cuts, and here's Newgarden on his lid, sliding down the front straightaway, the leader of the race. And at first, like, my mind is blown. Like, I'm like, I couldn't register in my brain what I was witnessing when Newgarden on his lid sliding down the front straightaway. I'm like, especially nowadays with all this AI and fake artificial intelligence like posts and all this craziness, I'm like, I'm watching it, and for some reason in my brain I couldn't register that was actually happening. Like, I was like, is this a replay? Is this an AI generated image? Like, is this part of the promo that we showed on the cutaway with for the commercial with Newgarden? I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it was like maybe like 10, 15 seconds later, it finally registered in my brain. I'm like, holy shit, he's the leader and he's upside down. I guess this is where the whole, like, I guess, cinema begins. It's like, IndyCar's always been fantastic. If we're not in a green flag pit cycle where they'll leave it green to let people cycle through, if it's not a dangerous, extremely dangerous accident, they'll usually leave the green out, lets green flag cycle continue. I've talked about that with the NASCARs, but this wasn't under a green flag cycle. Louis Foster's up against the wall and then sideways, and the caution didn't come out for the longest time. So Newgarden's still foot to the floor going, and then you see him spin sideways in front of Newgarden, and Newgarden's like, all right, I'm going to aim for the inside because he had a lap car in front of him. He couldn't go to the outside. So he tries to fit the gap to the inside wall, runs over the top of Foster. I mean, violent wreck. I mean, he goes airborne, almost clears the inside pit lane wall. I mean, if he clears that, dude, we're talking about serious freaking injuries and possible fatalities on pit lane. I mean, that would have been absolutely tragic. Thank God the car did kind of change trajectory like mid-air and missed going over that inside pit lane wall. And then he ends up going on his head and slides. I guess my biggest thing was just the delayed caution there. I just feel like that should have been. We saw it later in the race. I can't remember who it was that got up against the wall. It was Malukas. Malukas ends up going up and kind of getting up against the wall. Same kind of scenario. They threw the caution instantly. They learned from their mistake with the Newgarden one, which I applaud IndyCar officiating on that, because that could have been another bad scenario there. Some people on social media were like, oh, they jumped the gun on that Malukas caution. I'm like, no, I think they undershot the gun on the Foster one. That led to a big wreck. I think that they definitely did the right thing there by throwing the caution with Malukas, but applauds, like I said earlier, with the DW12, safe race car, great racing. And with Newgarden being able to slide like that on his hood or on his lid and be able to get out of that car was just absolutely amazing to see that he didn't have or sustain any issues or injuries. Devastating for Penske. This year's been awful for Team Penske. I mean, obviously we had the Indianapolis qualifying debacle. with the rear attenuator. Obviously, McLaughlin wrecking out lap before the Indy 500 even started. The terrible pace they've had, they had best runs they've had were Newgarden at Long Beach finishing P3, and then McLaughlin finishing what P2 or P3 at Barber. Other than that, Penske's not been good. They've had terrible qualifying efforts. Will Power had a few good runs where he would drive through the field. I mean, it's just been a bad year for Penske. I don't know if Penske can be able to right the ship here with all the shuffling they've had to do with all their disqualifications and the debacle at Indianapolis. Uh, the ovals sent like it was going to be their strength. They qualified all up in the top four basically, and it looked like they were going to win this race hands down. Were unable to do it. That was unfortunate. We had some good runs though by Cooter Daly, man. Old Cooter, dude. Good, goodness gracious, man. He was fun to watch in this race. He was moving from the outside lane and making passes, and he was in contention. He led some laps. I think Tom texted me at one point in the race, "Is today the day?" And I was like, "Nope." And it wasn't. It obviously wasn't going to win. I mean, there's like two things you could take to the bank in motorsports. It's Corey LaJoy or Cooter Day winning a race. It's just never going to happen, dude. You're never going to see LaJoy Dozer or Cooter ever win a race, man. It's just never going to happen. And it didn't happen this weekend. Big shout out to Christian Rasmussen, man. Uh, Absolute beast of a drive. Started like 22nd on the field or something like that, and just absolutely passed. I think 19 or he had like 54 passes on track. He moved up 19 positions from a starting grid spot up to P3. Fantastic run for Rasmussen. Momentum builder. I think that this is something ECR needed badly. They got it this weekend. Freaking awesome drive. I'm going to nominate him as driver of the week. He 100% deserves it. Fantastic race by him. And then the other thing I want to talk about is how freaking slow the Ganassi cars were. I mean, just terrible. Kiffin Simpson, nowhere to be found. Uh, Scott Dixon, Alex Plo in the mid-teens all day. Just no pace, no speed at all. Plo did improve on his finishing position. I think he did get a top 10 out of it. And then Dixon, the most Dixon luck ever, has a caution late, cycles him to the lead, and then obviously they kind of botched that final sequence. They went a little longer. The overcut just really wasn't playing out for anybody, and they kind of went with the overcut there at the end. Kirkwood went with the undercut, and Kirkwood ended up leaping the field and wins the race. His first win on an oval. The moniker of the street course king can kind of go away a little bit now. He got that oval win. Two drivers have found victory lane this year in the IndyCar Series. Alex Plo with the dominant start, and then Kirkwood bouncing back, man. He's got 3 wins now as well. The only 2 drivers to win so far this year in the IndyCar season. And the points gap right now, Pat O'Ward without a win. He's sitting there. He finished P2 in this race. He's sitting at second in points, 73 points back behind below, and then Kirkwood 75 back behind below. Let's put this in perspective. If that DQ didn't happen for Kyle Kirkwood at Indianapolis, where the points would be right now? It'd be close. It'd be a tight freaking points battle between Polo and Kirkwood, man. If Kirkwood doesn't win this championship, he's gonna look back at that Indy DQ, man, and what could have been, because that is the difference right now in the in the IndyCar championship is that Indianapolis DQ. Unbelievable. If Kirkwood fights back into this championship fight, which I think he can, 100%, I think he can. Uh, he's got the Andretti team on his back, absolutely carrying that Andretti team right now because Ericsson ain't fast. Herta's just the most self-destructive driver in IndyCar. I mean, that team is just implodes on itself. Like, it's like watching Ferrari in F1. It's just bad, man. They cannot put a race together. But yeah, Kirkwood's doing the job, man. He's doing God's work there for Andretti this year. The race was interesting at the end though, because we had Rosenquist and Ilott, who both pitted on that final caution. Were trying to stretch it on fuel, and it looked like they were going to do it. And then you saw Rosenquist pit. He kind of gave up on the strategy. And then Ilott inherits the lead late, and Kirkwood's closing down, and it was like 3-4 laps to go. I'm like, holy shit, can Ilott win this race? And then he ends up having to pit, running out of fuel. I don't think he would have won anyway, even if he would have stayed out. I think Kirkwood would have still passed him probably 2 laps to go, maybe on the white flag lap. But man, that would have been cool to see Callum Ilott win. I'm a fan of Callum Ilott. Some of the stuff he did there in the World Endurance Championship with the Jota team last year was fun to watch. He's had some pretty good runs in IndyCar as of late as well. It would have been cool to see him and Prema get their first win, but just wasn't in the cards. The drama was there, but like I said, man, at the beginning, IndyCar this year, if you're not watching it, man, what are you doing? It is absolute freaking cinema this year. It's can't miss, unpredictability. I mean, the script writers for NASCAR right now are absolutely enraged and pissed off and just so jealous of IndyCar right now because they IndyCar just pure natural cinema and drama and intrigue that it's just like all these twists and turns, unpredictability. And NASCAR has to just sit there and just write scripts to try and make this stuff happen. And they can't do it. They can't compete. I mean, it's untouchable. It's like watching the WWE versus like your local wrestling club at your hometown. Just it's like it's uncompetitive, man. It's two different levels, man. It's unbelievable. IndyCar's been so much fun to watch this year. All right, that'll recap this weekend's races. Their drivers of the week: Kimi Antonelli P3 in F1, John Hunter Nemechek P6 in the Cup race, and then obviously Christian Rasmussen P3 in IndyCar this weekend. Boneheads of the week: I'm going to nominate Connor Zilic for hopping the curb there and kind of causing the big stack up, kind of choked the race away, in my opinion. That sent him so far back, was unable to recover. Also, Lando Norris with the choke job crash in the Formula One race. And obviously, Kyle Busch losing control and absolute TKO in like 4 cars. I mean, that was just absolutely freaking comical and hilarious. All right, let's do it. It's time to preview the races this weekend. We're getting to that point of the podcast. We got Trucks Xfinity Cup at Pocono, the Michelin Pilot Challenge in IMSA at Watkins Glen for the 6-hour race, which is one of my favorite races of the year. And then IndyCar and Indy NXT at Road America, which is going to be another mint fantastic race this weekend. All right, notable entries in the truck series this weekend at Pocono. We got Brandon Jones for Tricon in the 1 truck, Hosen Karsafar in the number 7 for Spire, Connor Jones in the number 44 for Nice, and then Luke Baldwin for Thor Sport in the 66. Xfinity Chase Elliott will be behind the wheel of the 17 HMS machine, and then Justin Bonsignor with JGR in the 19. And then Brendan Poole making a Cup Series start for NY Racing this weekend in the 44. All right, Friday, the Truck Series at Pocono, the Miller Tech Battery 200. I think this is a pretty obvious pick. I'm going with Corey Heim. They've been unbelievable on the intermediate packages, short track. I mean, it's just everywhere they go. He's just dominant. I don't see anything different. This was a race last year that kind of slipped away from him. I think that they get some redemption this weekend and they win this race at Pocono. And then my dark horse, like always, I'm going with Cade Honeycutt. He's due, man. Eventually, he's gonna win one of these races. Why not this weekend at Pocono? This race last year was an intriguing race. We had different strategies, some weird cautions. We had rain play into the end of it with restarts, and then rain would come in, red flag it, and then restart it again, and rain would come back, and it took them like 4 or 5 times to attempt those final like 10 to 12 laps of the race. And you had Genfinger up there trying to withstand and try to survive. And I don't know. We'll see what this race has in store for us this year. Pocono with the trucks has been interesting the last couple of years. See how it plays out this weekend. Xfinity Series, explore the Pocono Mountains 250. My pick this week, I'm going with Connor Zilic. Pocono's been one of those tracks, a lot like Martinsville, that just seems to always play into road racers' advantages when it comes to, and like Indianapolis as well. Just these types of tracks that just, if you're a road racer, just for some reason, it's just the road racing ability and translates to these type of ovals or I guess a triangle in this case with Pocono. But Zilic has been fast. He's been qualifying up front basically every race this year. Though I think the lack of experience, some of the mistakes he's made have kind of cost some chances at wins. I think this weekend, I think it'll play into his favor. It'll be an interesting race of strategy, shorter stages. Could be a fuel strategy race at the end. Who knows the way it lays out at the end? If we don't get any weird yellows at the end, it could play into a fuel strategy race. I think Zilic is the man to beat this weekend. I think he qualifies up front. I think he holds track position and doesn't really have to race for stage wins or stage points because of the lock-in in the playoffs. I think this weekend is bust or go home for the win versus C Zilly this weekend. Then my dark horse, I'm going to stick with Sieg, man. Again, one of these weekends, Sieg's going to find himself in victory lane. Why not this weekend at Pocono? All right, and then Saturday, we got the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series, the LP Building Solutions 120 at Watkins Glen. This could be an interesting race. I think in ground sport, I'm going to go with Mercedes this weekend with the 57 win. They've probably been the best team in ground sport this week in this season. I would say watch out for the Fords, though. The pace that they had there at Daytona, I think it's going to play in. I think it's going to be similar here at a Watkins Glen with the long straightaways, the fast corners. I think it's going to be a great race for Windward Mercedes. Hey, look who just showed up. It's Tom. Let's get him on here. Actually, we could go back before we get into more predictions. We could go back a little bit and get Tom's opinion on some of the races this weekend. Oh shoot, you know what? My headset's off, so I'm not gonna be able to pick you up. One second, Tom. Let me see, video. Headphones. All right, check, check. I can hear you now. Let me stream a screen so the cameras are set right. Yes, we can see you. Now I just gotta go off of the grid view here. Try to do that. Oh, grid view. There it is. We got you. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Heck yeah. All right. Well, I was just going into race predictions for this weekend, but since you're here now, I think we should go back into some of these races, get some of your opinions. Anything you want to talk about with any of the races this weekend? I guess you could pick which ones you want to go into and give your opinions on what you want to give it. Oh, I know. Oh, I got no sound for you. One second. I had to update my OBS. Okay. I just changed the properties. Oh, you're good now. All right. Let's start over with the Xfinity race. Sorry.
Right, Xfinity race. I thought the Gibbs and Zillage battle was pretty cool. I thought that the little rivalry that they had going on there, even after the race, with Gibbs talking a little shit, I thought that was pretty cool. Suarez's run didn't make it in on qualifying because he crashed his car. Right?
Yeah.
That's what happened. And then he comes back to win his home race in Mexico. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a pretty cool comeback story right there. But yeah, I think that the Xfinity cars put on a hell of a show. In fact, if it's just looking at the Xfinity series and the way it raced, we should definitely go back to Mexico next year. But I mean, you put good race cars on a road course. I mean, you're going to get cinema every time. So. The Canadian Grand Prix, Chokemeister, Mr. Norris. Other than that, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward race. We had a little bit of strategy going on there, but it really was just George Russell's show, right? I mean, he put on a pretty good clinic there, I think, in Canada, and just a way for Mercedes to really go out there and flex. I really thought that Max could have won this race. I honestly just am going to go back to the car. I think that the car is just so subpar, and Max, by God, we need to get him a fucking titanium titanium back brace by now because that man's got to be hurting. I mean, look at Yuki Tsunoda, man. What qualified, dog shit last and could only get up to P15, and what does that say? I mean, Tsunoda was getting points every race in the AlphaTauri car. So I don't know. I either that second car is cursed or the car is just ass in its entirety, and Max is just Max doing Max shit. But what I really want to talk about is Kimi Antonelli getting his first pole. I thought that was super freaking cool. I've been following Kimi Antonelli for some time. I sincerely think he's going to be a big thing in F1. I think this is just the start. I think he's just having a he had the past couple of races have been pretty bad for him. So this is a pretty good turnaround for him. But overall, as a rookie season, I think that mint. Indy NXT, I only was reading what was on X because I didn't have access to actually watch the race. But yeah, Hughes. That's right, Hughes. Freaking crazy what he did. Oh, my screen just went black. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, then I'm not going to worry about it. The IndyCar race, freaking cinema. What more do you want from a freaking racing series?
I know,
right?
That's great.
Like, you can't... the freaking leader does a barrel roll down the front straightaway because some dude, Louis Foster, got into the damn marbles off of turn 4. He's flipping going across the freaking start-finish line. I mean, that's just crazy.
I was saying earlier that was the most crazy camera cut that I've ever seen in my life. Because I was saying, like, it went to commercial and they have like the promo from the off season with Newgarden in the studio, and like with everything going on with like AI and like all these fake news and all this crap going on, dude. Like when it happened and I saw him sliding on his lid across the front stretch, in my brain could not register what the fuck just happened, dude. Like, I'm looking at it and it was like 10 seconds. I'm like, is this AI? Is this like a highlight? Is this like a part of the promo? Like, what is going on here? And then I realized, like, holy shit, he actually wrecked. Like, mind blowing. Greatest cut in sports history, bro. The cameraman falling down. Just you can't make it up. You can't make this shit up, man.
Yeah, dude, the script writers are losing their fucking minds right now watching it.
That's what I was saying. The IndyCar that's just naturally happening, and NASCAR script writers are over there beating their heads against the wall. How the hell can we not come up with this shit?
Why didn't we think of this?
You got Lundgaard in reverse down pit lane, cars swerving around him. Fucking Rasmussen's on fire. Like, dude, just
the booth is just going freaking nutty,
bananas.
Like, yeah, dude, that was insane. That was insane. I don't know, man. Like that whole race, it started at what 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, Eastern time. And dude, I was freaking glued to the TV the entire time. Like, if it wasn't on track happenings, it was pit road happenings. Like, or it was freaking Joseph Newgarden being the next NASA certified astronaut orbital freaking Saturn V rocket. You know what I mean? Like, I just, you had everything in that race. You had strategy in that race. Dude, I feel like, oh my God, could have stole that race, man. That was the real heartbreaker right there for me. I was cheering on Ilott and Prima so hard at the end of that race. I was jumping up and down. I was freaking hands clenched, looking at the TV, like laser focused, tunnel vision on what was going on. I saw him pull in, and I was like, oh my God, there's no freaking way Kyle Kirkwood's going to win this damn race. And yeah.
I think
I don't know. I think
at the end of that certified that, or like summarized that entire race perfectly. You texted me with like 12 laps to go, and you're like, there's 12 laps to go, and the's like 6 guys that can win this race. I have no fucking idea who's going to win this race. I was like, that is crazy.
Seriously, though, like this entire year, it's always been, oh, Pelot's just gonna win. Oh, Pelot's just gonna win. I'm like, Okay, maybe, but like then you get a race like this where the only other driver that's won this year just happens to win the race. I mean, like, but you couldn't have predicted that. Not even halfway through not even a quarter of the way, not even three-quarters of the way through the race. You know what I mean? Like, uh, IndyCar is just peak, and I stand beside it. I think IndyCar is peak North American racing right now. I just don't think it gets better. I really don't. I mean, you have street courses, road courses, ovals. Like it's the complete and total package. You just can't get better than it. I don't know. And then you got Rasmussen getting a podium.
What a drive.
Um,
P22 to P3.
Seriously, the dude was
Unbelievable.
on fire at one point in the race.
Yeah,
You know?
literally.
Yeah, like I honestly thought like there was a possibility he was going to stop the car on pit road and jump out. I mean, obviously, the fuel's only going to burn for so long. All it did was hit the exhaust, but like it was pretty close to the driver. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just think that uh, this was a fucking crazy race.
Instant classic.
Like seriously, they're going to be doing that replay of New Garden barreling down the front straightaway for like 10 years now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
every promo that Fox has for the next however long is going to be New Garden barrel rolling. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the camera angles. I mean, we got like 40 different camera angles. Were we even watching Fox that night, dude?
That's what I said at the beginning when I was summarizing the race. I said, Fox is freaking awesome with IndyCar. Like, the booth is perfect. The camera angles are great. The cutaways are great. They fixed the graphics. I mean, like if you were just to be like a casual that's never watched IndyCar ever, and you just turned on that IndyCar race, you would have thought you're watching like the Super Bowl. Like, professional broadcast, bro. Like, amazing.
I mean, it was just in that one wreck, and that was a pretty spectacular wreck. But with all the camera angles we got, I was just impressed, just by that alone. Because let's be honest, every Fox broadcast we watch, we are always screaming at the TV, "Go to the battles." They never have cameras pointed in the right direction. They're always focusing on the wrong things. One time, Fox got it right. They say a broken clock is right, twice a day, but somehow they're only right once a day or something. You got to figure out what kind of clock that is. But I was just impressed with the IndyCar broadcast. I think they did a good job. I think that maybe Fox doesn't care about IndyCar as much as they do NASCAR. So, maybe they just need to take the same philosophy to NASCAR and beef that up a little bit. I don't know. Whatever they did for IndyCar is working, right? They need to do the same for NASCAR, because what an abysmal start that they had to the season with NASCAR. So, but anyways, like Jay said, instant classic race. You're going to be able to watch that race for years to come, and it's freaking peak, man. It's peak.
It's so much fun.
Yes. The Viva Mexico 250 with the Cup cars at Mexico. We kind of had a little bit of a rain-soaked race at the beginning. Kind of got a good bit of drama out of that. Got lots of beating and banging. You have it written down here that KFB loses control. I mean, he fucking sent that thing in there, didn't he?
Oh, damn, dude. That was fun to watch.
Dude, I was like, I'm having flashbacks of what Big Willie.
Oh, yeah,
dude. A heat-seeking missile he went in there like. Oh, my gosh. That was, honestly, I was hilarious. And the way that he hit Larson, and it broke the right front, and Larson was just bouncing, going across the track, Like, that was hilarious to me. That was like the icing on top of the cake. After that, we still saw some good racing. SVG was just on another level, I feel like. Finally gets the credit for or get some credit for the win. I honestly feel like every road course we've gone to since his inaugural win at Chicago, he should have won. Just either bad luck, somebody else's stupidity, or strategy has really just been on the bad side for him. So it's good that he gets a win. I do want to talk about this Hostin Karsavar and Reki Roundhouse drama. Man, who does Reki think he is, man? He's not the main character.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, he ain't the main character in his own life, dude.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. His dad is. Yeah. Like, his dad does all the hard work. He's the one throwing punches. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't going to do shit when he comes back to the States. You know what I mean? Like, Reki going in that car and telling him that he's going to beat his ass back in the States. Well, if he wasn't such a fucking pussy, he would have done it right there. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to go up to a dude, ooh, when we get back to the bar, I'm going to beat your ass. You know, like, dude, fuck it out of here. You're such a loser, dude. Honestly, such a loser.
It's a great strategy, warning is somebody they're going to beat their ass.
Yeah, well, tell him to put on the SpongeBob pants and maybe he can make something happen. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my fast track recap of last weekend.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was fun, man. That was a good weekend of racing. I enjoyed a lot of that. That was a lot of fun. Like you said, IndyCar was cinema. Road racing and NASCAR, I mean, let's do it every week, is my opinion on that, because it's fucking awesome.
More street courses, too.
Yeah. And then the Lando Norris just absolutely shitting down his own leg. It's fucking awesome, too. What a loser.
I love it. I love it. Man. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
Alrighty. I made my picks for trucks, Xfinity, and that's it. I've made picks on so far. So I'll let you jump into trucks and Xfinity if you want right now, and then I'll take over for Pilot Challenge, and then we'll just go through all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Look, going to Pocono, I think that a lot of experience is going to play in to these races. Pocono is such a tricky track, and the high speeds, the low speeds. I think really we have a potential to see a lot of pit road mishaps this weekend, especially coming off of turn 3, trying to pit, potential green flag pit stops. I kind of doubt that because NASCAR's whole gimmick with stages really just screws that all up. But whatever. I still think that we have opportunity for some pit road mishaps. So with that being said, I'm going to throw in a mix of some veterans, some younger ones that I feel like have the potential, and then some true dark horses too. So my favorite for the truck race this weekend at Pocono, it's going to be Enfinger. I mean, talk about some of the most experienced drivers on the track. You got Enfinger, Crafton. I would put Friesen in there, Ben Rhodes. Honestly, out of those 4 drivers, I'm still choosing Enfinger. Yeah, I just think Enfinger has a great chance this weekend. And then for dark horses, I'm going to go with the fan favorite. I'm going to go with Muniz. I think he's been having some good runs lately. I mean, he runs for RBR. What do you expect? He did do that Mustang Dark Horse Challenge in Le Mans last weekend, which was pretty cool. So, I don't know where he finished or how he did or anything, but it's kind of cool that Ford's taking him around and helping him out. So, and then let's go to the Xfinity Series. Jay, I see that you chose Zilich. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go. Man, as much as I hate to freaking say it, man, I really do. I'm just doing this for clout, honestly. I'm going Allgaier for favorites. Again, going on top of the whole ideology of some experience, I think Allgaier has it above the rest of the class. So we're going with Allgaier for the favorite. For the dark horse, I'm going freaking Ryan Sieg, man. I mean, this dude's going to win a race this year. I have no doubt about it. It's a miracle this guy hasn't freaking won a race already. I mean, he's been so damn close, but I hope to God he's not the next Sheldon Creed. By
Oh
God.
God.
Fuck, man, that'd be terrible. Yeah, that's who I got.
Yeah, I was saying I think that this Xfinity race has the potential, if we don't have any cautions in that final stage, this could be a fuel mileage race or even a track position
Hell
race at the
yeah.
end. So that's
Yes.
kind of what I'm hoping for. I want to see a clean green final stage and make it be some fuel strategies, a little bit of save, maybe make it a little interesting. And like you said, I
Yes.
think veteran experience is probably a better look here because Pocono is one of the tougher tracks. A long pit road. Uh, you lose a lot of time on pit sequences. I mean, you make a little mistake, put yourself a lap down, it could ruin your race. So, I do like the favorite or the veteran experience for picks. Michelin Pilot Challenge, like I was saying, I'm gonna go with Windward Mercedes this weekend. I said watch out for the Mustangs in the GT4 cars because those Mustangs at Daytona were really fast, like Watkins Glen. A lot of that pace is going to translate here to a Watkins Glen. The only issue that I have is maybe with some of the higher downforce corners. That's where they struggled at Daytona with in that Mustang. So I think that's where the Mercedes is going to definitely have the advantage. And that's why I put the Ford as my dark horse. But the reason is those Fords, dude, those GT4s, man, they are just getting used and abused in every Michelin Pilot Challenge Series race this season in the GS. Every race I watch, dude, there's at least 2 to 3 of them in a sand trap, a wall, up in a barrier, getting turned around somewhere, up in a grass, off track. I mean, they've just had a rough go at it, so I'm going to put them as my dark horse. And then TCR, obviously going with the Herta Autosport Hyundais. They've just dominated TCR this year. I mean, every race, just dominance. And out of the cars out of that stable, I'm going to go with the 76 just because DuPont has just been freaking unbelievable this year. I think he's probably the best driver in the TCR class. It's not even close. He's just absolutely put that car on his back this season. Running pace, just blistering fast over everybody else. So I'm going to take them. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with the Cupra, man. Just because they're the biggest meme in all of sports car racing right now. Wouldn't it be freaking hilarious if they won like a Watkins Glen race? That'd be insane.
I'd lose my shit, dude.
It's an ugly ass looking car too, man. It is so bad. I just can't believe that they're even in sports car racing. It just blows my mind. But that's my dark horse. Alrighty. Do you want to make picks there, or do you want to just move on to Indy NXT?
Oh, let's go to Indy NXT.
Okay, Indy NXT. I'm gonna take Dennis Hauger, Road America. He's been unbelievable on the road courses this year. Lockie Hughes has showed some pace, but I feel like the only way Lockie Hughes can be able to best Dennis Hauger on a road course is it like something that happened in Indianapolis, where he goes off track or runs wide in turn one, or it's just something weird happens or a mechanical failure. Lockie Hughes is good. He's just not Dennis Hauger good, and that's what I'm gonna take. Dennis Hauger. My dark horse. I'm gonna go with Miles Rowe again. Another podium this weekend at on an oval this weekend at Gateway. I thought that was pretty impressive. I would see him more as a road racer than an oval racer, and seems like he's finally getting his groove, finally starting to show that potential and that speed that he showed in his USF 2000 days. I think it's a matter of time before this guy finds a chance at victory lane. Why not this weekend? That'd be a great opportunity for another podium, maybe even a chance at a victory lane if we get a little bit of controversy or drama up at the front.
Okay, yeah. So, favorite. I mean, you're freaking crazy if you're not choosing Hauger. I mean, come on. The dude is an entire like century above everybody else. You're crazy if you don't choose him. Dark horse. I'm going Colette. For literally no reason. It's just, yeah. Championship's over. Congrats, Hauger.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe Lockie Hughes will bounce back and be able to fight back in this. But I like that pick with Calais. I mean, last year he was unbelievable, and this year he's like third, fourth best every week. It's like we'll see if he can get that figured out, right the ship.
Yeah.
But that move over to Jukos Hollinger probably has a little bit to do with it. So we'll see how that plays out.
For sure.
All right, IndyCar this weekend, the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America. This race is going to be freaking amazing. I mean, I thought that it couldn't get any better this year after the Indy 500 with how crazy that race was, and then this weekend just absolutely tops it. I feel like it's just going to continually be just absolute cinema in IndyCar this year. It's been, even though we've had dominance from two drivers, it feels like this year's been the best year ever in IndyCar. And it's just weird how that works out. We haven't seen the parity, but it just is better. It's weird. But Road America is just a freaking god tier track. I mean, it is so freaking amazing. I remember last year, what they had like their first four cars piled up into turn one. Colton Herta,
Yeah.
Armstrong, and Rosenquist all piled up into turn one on the first lap, and then changed the entire complexion. Then we saw the strategy with the Penske's last year with Will Power, McLaughlin, and Newgarden all playing kind of leapfrog with the undercuts and overcuts, and that was pretty entertaining race there. What do we see this year? I think we're going to see another Pelot dominance. I think Pelot qualifies in the Fast Six. I don't think it really matters if he qualifies pole or if he finishes or qualifies sixth. I think Pelot is going to be able to master the strategy, get to the front of the field. I would say Kirkwood's going to be a factor. Don't count him out. He has been having a career year this year. I think he is showing that he is definitely the best driver and ready right now. I don't think it's close. And that team is firing on all cylinders. They just don't beat themselves. They don't make mistakes. I mean, yes, they did with the DQ at Indianapolis, and imagine what the championship battle would be right now if that didn't happen. But watch out for him. And then obviously Lundgaard, you got to throw him in the mix. And then Penske, I'm still on the fence with Penske. I mean, they're just god awful this year. Like whether it's getting DQ to Indianapolis, firing half the team, wrecking on ovals, not finishing the ovals, mechanical issues with McLaughlin. Anything that could go wrong with freaking Penske this year has gone wrong. So I don't know how much stock to put into him this weekend. So I'm gonna go with Pelot as my favorite, and then my dark horse. Damn, dude, this is another guy right there with Ilott at the end, dude. Looked like he was gonna stretch it on fuel and win there at Gateway, steal and win. I like Rosenquist. I like what Meyer Shank is doing this year. I've said it multiple times. The relationship they have with Ganassi this year, you could see it. Those Meyer Shank cars are just way faster this year. They got way more pace. I think it's just gonna get bigger and better as the season progresses. And Rosenquist is a capable driver, and I think this is one of his best tracks. We talk about his success that he's had at Barber over the last few years. I think this is another track that Rosenquist is going to qualify fast six, and who knows, man? Maybe he'll be able to put the strategy together. The pace will be there. They'll be similar to the Ganassi cars. Maybe they can contend with Pelot this weekend.
Yeah. So, you got Pelot and Kirkwood. Everything Jay said about Kirkwood, what a freaking career year he's having right now. Basically, just stating that he deserves to be in IndyCar for quite some time, especially going up against someone like Pelot, and also being one of two drivers to only win this year. We're halfway through the season, and there's only been two winners. Are we halfway through the season?
We're close. I think we met.
Well, we're close.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, a couple more. We're close. So I think Kirkwood, fine choice. Honestly, I think Colton Herta is a good choice this weekend. He's always fast at Road America. He always does good. Just seems to choke it, one way or the other. My God, they got to get it right one time, right?
Oh my goodness.
So, we'll see with that. I think Rosenquist is going to be fast, too. He's fast last year. Kiffin Simpson was fast. So don't count him out either. So, but with that, I'm going to stick with my typical favorite. I'm going with Pelot. He's going to turn it around. I mean, let's be honest. Ovals aren't really his strong point. I don't think the Indy 500 was a fluke. He was fast last year, got screwed over. He was fast this year. Just not really that fast at any of the other ovals, like Gateway, like Nashville, Iowa. He was fast at Iowa last year, just had a shit ton of problems. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I think he can turn it around right here. I have pretty good confidence in that. For Dark Horse, I'm still on that train, baby. I'm on the Malukas comeback tour. I think it's 110% alive. In fact, I think he's going to be racing under a different banner next year. I think he's going to be a part of Team Penske. If he's not a part of Team Penske, holy shit, are they making a mistake? I think Malukas is the real deal. I hope that Zach Brown takes this as a huge middle finger because he's an absolute moron. In fact, this is take two of being a moron because he
Take
effed
3.
up with Pelot. Take three, Tail
Yeah,
Peugeot,
Pusher, yeah.
and then who else was it? There was another one.
Malukas, Pourchaire, and Plo, and then Daniel Ricciardo, if you want to go back to the F1.
Yeah, but there was another one a couple years ago that we don't even hear his name anymore.
Well, they let Rosenquist walk, but that's another one I would maybe put on that list.
Wasn't it Ilott?
Yeah, it was Ilott. Yep, it was, because then he had to go to Juncos after that. You're right, it was Ilott.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he got bullied by all the Brazilians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just another idiotic move, honestly. Yeah. So, yeah, Maluka's comeback tour. Let's get it.
Alrighty. Now for IMSA, the Salem 6 hours of Glen on Sunday. Is there any other pick besides the number 7 Porsche, dude? To be honest with you, they're unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
they ran really good last year at Watkins Glen. They were probably the best cars. The one team I would say watch out for, and they've really been competitive with Porsche this year as a whole, but they've just absolutely choked on strategy. I mean, it's been freaking abysmal. BMW. BMW's been really good at Watkins Glen the last couple of years. Watch out for BMW this weekend. Can they beat the Porsche? I don't think so. I'm going with number 7 GTP Porsche this weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with Aston Martin, man. They kind of impressed me at Le Mans. They finished the race, dude. They didn't have any bullshit issues. They didn't end up in a gravel trap like the Alpine. They didn't wall it like the rest in the Peugeot. I mean, they didn't have any major issues. They just ran their race. They were not fast. They just were there. And they've been probably the 7th best car in the IMSA grid this season, the last few races. I mean, Lamborghini's back in the field this weekend. That's going to be an absolute joke and shit show there. So I'm gonna take Aston as my as my dark horse.
Oh man, that's great. Okay. So for GTP favorite, I'm going with the number 93 Acura. Look, this team, it started in Daytona, right? Went over some curbing, broke a suspension component. It's been downhill since there. But was it?
They won Detroit last race, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they won Detroit. You know, they've had a slow come up, and honestly, I I feel like almost like if it's I don't know. I feel like they need to pull their shit together. Really, they really do. I mean, it's over for them. They're not going to be able to do anything in the championship. But I think that just to build up for the rest of the year now and to hit strong next year, I think that's a probability. I think we're going to see a lot more of this number 93 up front. And then for my dark horse, I'm going with the 85 JDC Miller because hell yeah, brother. That's about it.
Alrighty. And then LMP2, I'm gonna go with the AO Puff, the Magic Dragon Spike, as they call it. They had a great run at Le Mans. They didn't win, but they did a good job, man. They finished all the laps. They didn't have any big. The best part about them is they didn't make the highlight reel. And if you don't make the highlight reel at Le Mans, then you did a good job. So I'm gonna take them to win this weekend. I did want to pick Euro Interpol because they won Le Mans and LMP2 cars. They were really fast, didn't make any mistakes. Again, great job by them. The only highlight reel they made was the victory lane highlight reel at the end. So I wanted to take them, but I just am a huge fan of the AO 99 team. I think they did a great job at Le Mans. Their first time at Le Mans with this program. I think they did a great job. I think they bounce back and get a win this weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with the number 73 Pratt Miller. Really just because I'm a big fanboy of Pratt Miller and they've had a rough start to this year. I haven't really had the performance, but who knows, man? It's Watkins Glen. It's a 6-hour race. It's LMP2. It's one of those It's if you watch any highlights of any World Endurance Championship or IMSA races or whatever involve LMP2, you know the LMP2s make up 75% of the highlight film. We saw it again this weekend at Le Mans. We saw just absolutely half the field just eating walls, barriers, off into a gravel trap somewhere, running each other over, running over GT3s. I mean, we're going to see the same this weekend. It's going to happen. And if Pratt Miller isn't on the highlight reel, that means they had a good race. That means they're probably in the top 3, top 5 at the end. So that's my dark horse.
Yes. Okay. So for my favorite, I'm going with the number 8 Tower LMP2 because screw himself for screwing him over for the 24 Hours of Daytona. I'm still riding that train. And then for my dark horse, I'm also going with the number 73 Pratt Miller because I think actually big kudos to GM for investing in a platform like the LMP2, where we don't really see a lot of factory support. Like I'm looking at the teams right now. I mean, you've got Riley, AF Corsa,
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
and Pratt Miller. I mean, you can't even count Riley in there because, I mean, they developed the freaking chassis, but AF Corsa and Pratt Miller. So I think that's pretty cool. I think if you invest in something, you should at least give a little support there. So I'm also going with the 73 Pratt Miller.
alrighty. And then in GTD Pro, I know they're not going to win, but I'm picking them anyway just because of old Turbo Tommy. I'm going to go with the number 4 Corvette. I would just love to see him win, man. That's all I care about. Like,
I want to see this finger right here.
yes, the right finger, yeah. I want to see them. He's probably going to get ran over again and have the same damage he's had every race this year on that left rear. I mean, that thing is just getting used and abused. They need to get a sponsor on that left rear because that gets so much camera time.
Yeah, they need to get like whoever makes that what's it called? JB Weld.
Yeah, JB Weld as a sponsor right there.
That'd be a perfect sponsor right there.
Yeah, dude, you'd get some great TV time. So I'm gonna go with them, and then my dark horse is Vassy. What was it? Ben Barnicoat back behind the wheel, the 14 Vassy this weekend at Watkins Glen. I like it. Jack Hawksworth, Ben Barnicoat reunited in a car that's just outdated and a complete pile of junk. They did wall it at Le Mans, which was just absolutely devastating to see them in their maiden Lexus debut at Le Mans just not go as planned. They didn't finish the race. That was unfortunate. But maybe this weekend, as a dark horse pick, maybe they can find a way to wheel that piece of garbage to victory lane.
All right, so for my GTD Pro, I'm going with the number 65 Ford. I'm going to continue to pick them because
great pick.
I'm eating crow. Man. I mean, they won the 24 Hours of Daytona. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that matters. They won it after just absolutely bringing a shit box to the racetrack all last year. So I'll continue to choose them. I don't care. And then for my dark horse, I'm also going with Vassy. I think that's what we've seen in the past is indicative of what we'll see in the future. Hopefully, with some updates or a completely different car that we'll be seeing coming in the future. But man, what a couple of freaking difficult seasons for these guys. I really hope it turns around for them in the update.
I'm with you there. I like the pick with Ford. I think that's the team that's going to win. I just didn't want to pick them because I figured you probably would want to pick them. But like I said, dude, Watkins Glen, Daytona, there's a lot of similarities with the high-speed corners, the long straightaways. That's where Ford absolutely annihilated them at Daytona. I think that they're going to do a lot of the same, so I like that pick. And then for GTD, I'm going to take the 021 Ferrari for no real particular reason. I just feel like Ferrari is kind of the sleeping giant in the GTD class, and this weekend I think they're going to flex some muscles and show some speed. A lot of the World Endurance Championship rounds, like we saw with like Imola earlier this year, They were really fast there, like extremely fast. If they didn't get taken out by Valentino, I think they probably would have won that race. So I think there's going to be a lot of similarities here this weekend. I think this track's going to play a benefit to that Ferrari. And then again, I'm going with the number 12 Vassie as my dark horse. Again, that little shit box is giving it all they can, man. Plus, I like Parker Thompson, man. Spotter turned race car driver, and he's doing a freaking fantastic
Yeah.
job.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's almost like the people who have a hard time funding their racing careers actually deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Crazy
Thanks.
concept, you know? Anyways, so for my GTD class, for my favorite, I'm going to go with the number 66 Ford, because meme. And for my dark horse, I'm also taking the number 12 Vassie because I freaking love that story of spotter turned race car driver turned Long Beach Grand Prix winner. I just think that's so freaking cool.
It's freaking awesome, man. Such a great story. I love him, so man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun race, dude. Like I said, the 6 hours Watkins Glen, one of the longer endurance races of the year for the IMSA series, and it's such a fun race. Watkins Glen's an awesome track. It just in general. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's gonna be fun to see this race and see how it plays out. Alrighty, and then now for the final race of the weekend, the Cup Series, the Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono. I'm gonna go with Denny Hamlin this weekend. He's really good at Pocono, and like you said earlier with the trucks and Xfinity, the veteran experience I think is a huge factor at Pocono. Their intermediate package has been amazing with Hamlin this year, where all the rest of his teammates have been off. I don't like the guy. I'd rather him just hit the wall lap one, and actually I'd rather him just have a baby every week and never go back to the racetrack. To be honest with you.
Well, we'd have a million Denny Hamlins by the end of his life. Oh, shit.
But, yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I think he's going to win this weekend. My dark horse, I'm going with Hosen. I think he's going to run over Ricky one more time, or Ricky Roundhouse, and maybe find another top 5, top 10 this weekend. They're just super fast, man. I mean, it's one of those teams that you could just put on your radar to be a top 10 contender week in, week out. They've just got the pace right now. I don't know what they figured out. I don't know if it's just how talented Hosen is or what they've got going on with that 77 car, but that team is just wicked right now.
Yeah. All right. For my favorites, I was going to choose Hamlin as well, but I'm going to spread the love a little bit here. Even with this driver, I know they've been having some struggles. He's got a race win, though. So I don't know if they're the team to turn it around. I think they are, but we've seen some speed out of Chastain this in the past years at Pocono. I honestly think, if it's one driver to take it to Hamlin, I think it's Chastain. They just got to qualify better, man. I don't know what's going on with that team, but qualifying 33rd every freaking weekend has got to be so exhausting, man. It's got to be so exhausting. Because Chastain finds himself in the top 10 every week. So, I don't know, man. They got to figure something out there. They're absolutely doing no favors to SVG either. I feel like they're just giving him the kind of the shit equipment for the ovals and giving him the good equipment for the road courses, which is a viable strategy in the world that we're in with NASCAR. You win and you're in the playoffs, whatever. I mean, like, it's a viable strategy. You got the 88 in, you got the 1 in. Is the 99 in?
No, he's like 20 something in points, 28th in points or something. Yeah, he's way out.
Yeah, he's
in a must win.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So that's why I'm going to choose Chastain. I think he can. They qualify good, man. They got to qualify better. I mean, that's just bottom line. But yeah, for dark horses, I'm also going Host and Carsovar. I mean, honestly, I probably chose the most polarizing lineup right here. But look, if you didn't like what Ross Chastain, I got a little bit of a bug to pick here, Jake. If you didn't like what Ross Chastain did, but you're liking what Carson Hocevar is doing right now, what world are you living on?
Yeah, no shit.
If you think Carson Hocevar is like the greatest thing since sliced bread, Where were you during the
Yeah.
Chastain time?
Well, let's look at
You
the
know,
difference because Chastain ran into Larson and Hostin Karsavar is running into Recce Roundhouse. That's the difference. If
well, also,
Hostin
I
ran
mean,
into Larson, it would be a way different story, bro. Or Elliott or
sure,
uh, Bubba or something like that. Dude, he'd be getting
I get
fucking
it,
roasted.
but it's also, I mean, there's people on track that are during the race that are saying, "Man, fuck that 77. I'm gonna beat his ass after the race." You know, it's not just Recce Roundhouse. You know, it's everybody as a collective as well. I mean, they're saying the same thing. I mean, obviously, I don't think the fans are seeing it, to be honest. Because if they were, they'd have the same opinion they'd have on Chastain from a couple of years ago. So Chastain did take it to different levels, you know, playing that cat and mouse, wreck each other games at Pocono and Gateway with Denny Hamlin. But regardless, I have never seen such a weird fan base in my life before. The fact that this fan base has stood for Denny Hamlin when he was trying to wreck Chastain multiple occasions. The fact that this fan base defended Joey Logano at Richmond last year is just beyond me.
It blows my
You
mind.
know, defended Denny Hamlin at Richmond last year. It's just freaking crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all crazy. Whoever is in that category right there, y'all crazy, man. Y'all
You need some help. Stop it. You need some
need some
help. Alrighty. Last thing you're on the podcast, we're gonna do NASCAR fantasy. My lineup, I'm gonna go Hamlin, Bell. I'm just gonna go Bell. I don't know. Maybe that 20 team has found some momentum. Same with Gibbs. I put Gibbs on there too. Momentum's a real thing, and they've got it right now. So I'm gonna stick with that. I got Hostin Karsavar, for obvious reasons, and then I'll put whole hung money on there as well
Oh.
because I've got to use him a few more times. But dude, maybe this is a hot take. I think that Indianapolis ruined Larson. He has not been the same since, dude. Like he doesn't have pace wherever they go. He can't finish a race. I think the Indy thing took 10 years off his career, bro. I think he's cooked. It hasn't been the
Yeah.
same.
I mean, he crashes the same amount.
Yeah, but the difference was he was leading the race, and now he's wrecking for 20th.
All right. For my fantasy, I'm going Denny Hamlin, Chastain, Carson Hocevar. I'm going to throw in Bubba Wallace in there as well. And then I got some other picks. I'm gonna throw in Chase Briscoe because he's probably gonna win pole. So whatever.
Yeah, get some stage points off of him. That guy, that's another guy, dude. I can't freaking stand either, man. I just can't, dude. He is the most He's the most overhyped fucking driver in the Cup Series right now. He is so overrated.
You know who should be in that 19?
Anybody else?
Freaking Ryan Preece.
Yeah,
he should have gotten that 19 ride.
No shit, dude. I agree. It should have been Ryan Preece. Even Lyle Gregson, I think, would have done better, dude.
Dude, what's going on with that car, dude?
Dude, I don't know.
Actually, I don't even think it's the car. I think it's the nut between the steering wheel and the fucking headrest.
I think so too. He's a loose cannon.
Dude, I saw a stat on X today. He is one of the top 5 drivers to not only wreck in the amount of races that they had. I think there was percentages like 60% or something like that. It's fucking crazy, right? And then it had crashes. And then it had terminal damage, just 2 separate columns, right?
He's leading.
Who would have thunk he was on both? It was on both sides.
He's a loose cannon, bro. He's so fast, but he just can't freaking race. Like his racecraft isn't there.
Terrible.
That's what it is, man.
He's just garbage, man.
Zero racecraft, more speed than brains.
He even got Drew Blickensderfer, dude. Like,
I know.
He
should be running better. Yeah.
I'm just like, what circus are we watching this weekend? You know?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. Now matchups, we got Buescher versus Logano. I'm taking Buescher. Logano, it seems like Logano, whenever he wins a race, as long as it feels in the playoffs, he just checks out until the playoffs. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. Like it feels like he just goes on vacation. Like I don't know. So I'm gonna take Preece over Logano.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Butcher over Logano as well.
Hosting Car Savar versus Wrecky Roundhouse. Great matchup. I'm gonna take old Hosen, bro, because obviously reasons, man. Unless the SpongeBob pants come out, I can't take Wrecky, man. I can't do it.
No, I can't either. It's Hocevar all day long.
Hey, King Camo in the chat. Look at these handsome fellas. Well, look at this handsome fella in the chat, dude. What's up, man? I haven't talked to
Yeah,
you in
she.
a minute. Oh man. All right, next one is Blaney and Elliott. Oh man, I'm gonna go Blaney. I think Elliott I think he climaxed this weekend at his third place finish at Mexico City. I think he's done. I think he's cooked.
I think he is too. I think
He's cooked.
you know what? It's almost the same thing with Chase Elliott, right? Like I just think he's actually since what the year after his championship, I
Been
think he's
awful,
just checked out, man.
dude. He's done. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
I
seriously,
say it all
like
the time. Like he's got the career path of Dale Jr., bro. The only difference is he got
he
the
really
title.
does. He really does. There has been no better connection to Dale Jr. than Dale Jr. career path than Chase Elliott.
Yeah,
Honestly, you can compare those two, and everybody you don't even have to explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
yeah.
You know,
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to the point here over the next like 3-4 years where he wins a race. It's gonna feel like he like the freaking stands are pulled to the ground. You're gonna and it's gonna erupt. Like I remember when Junior was on like that 8-year winless streak and he won that race at Michigan on fuel mileage and like
Michigan,
they
yeah,
literally
with the
almost tore
Batman
that
car.
fucker to the ground, bro. Like that track almost didn't survive, dude. It was almost a damn freaking right. It looked like LA right now, dude. Like it was crazy. I feel like that's what's gonna happen when Chase Elliott wins one race in like the next 4 years. Like they're gonna tear that fucker to the ground.
Yeah.
All right, the next one's
Yeah.
Hamlin and Byron. I'm gonna go Hamlin over Byron just because I picked him to win. That's really the only reason. That's
I
a coin
mean,
flip.
I don't think so. I think Hamlin's got this way over the 24. Again, I think the experience comes into play. I think the 11. Honestly, I think that you know you could throw old Hung Money's name in there, but honestly, I think Hamlin has been one of the best drivers to adapt to this shit ass car that we have.
That's true.
Honestly, I think you could probably choose Hamlin every weekend, like on a sports betting app, and for the majority of the weekends, you'd be making money.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like other. I mean, we said that about William Byron last year, um, but he's leading the points too. So
yeah, but
William Byron's kind of the same way.
yeah. The only difference between Hamlin and Byron though is it doesn't seem like Hamlin ever goes in a slump. Like Byron, like
Yeah,
looks like he lights the
right.
world on
Yeah,
fire, and then like 2 months he just disappears, and then he's back and he's dominating it, and then just disappears for 2 months.
yeah.
It's like. And it's not like he disappears. He just isn't winning races. He's running in the top 10. It's like, so he's, I mean, yeah, he's still great. I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like those are your best two. Well, minus maybe Bell. I think Bell, Byron, and Hamlin are probably the
Yeah,
best three in
but
this
Bell's only
generation of
turned
car.
up. Bell has only turned up like in this year and the end of last year.
Yeah,
I
true.
feel like, or maybe the later half of last year. I really feel like Bell. I mean, honestly, Bell. I don't really feel like has been a contender for really anything except for maybe a potential race win here and there. Until the latter half of last year and this year.
Yeah, yeah. All
I
right.
honestly think it's the 11 and the 24 that have been the best drivers in this next gen car.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's even close. I mean, Blaney's just inconsistent. I mean, but like you said, Bell's
Yep.
just barely come onto the playing field. Larson hung money,
Yep.
throws it in the wall half the time. I
It's
mean,
hung money.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, I felt like that's if you're putting power ratings, yeah, it's 12 or 24 and 11. You're putting at the top of the power ratings for sure.
Yeah.
All right. King Camel, what's up, dudes? Not much, man. Just hanging out. Another Tuesday podcast. Just bullshitting and doing our thing. How you been doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute. All right.
Just chilling. Just chilling.
Just chilling, dude. Oh, I've been so busy as of late. I've not been able to do much on the YouTube channel. Just trying to make the podcast.
Why don't you talk about your car a little bit?
Yeah, well, trying to put the car together, running a modified, and the Idaho 208 this year is my goal. Got the motor in it already, got it finished, dressed up. Just some few parts we're waiting on to get it finished. And then we'll be racing it at the Auto 28 against the big boys. See if we can compete. Never driven this car before. It's got a lot of power. Weighs like nothing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Tom's gonna hopefully fly down, come be my spotter for that race.
Oh, I'm flying down, brother. I'll
we're
be
gonna
there.
give it our best go, our best effort. See if we compete with the big money boys out there for sure. Should be done here in another couple weeks. That's what I've been doing every weekend. That's why we missed the watch party this weekend, which I apologize for. I was down at the shop trying to get the car, get the final touches on the race car to get it put together so we can get it going, because August 2nd is coming up really fast. I mean, God, we're what, 6 weeks away? Damn. Yeah. It's flying, dude. Time's flying.
Yeah.
King Camus says the shop is slammed. Well, that's good, man. Staying busy. Can't rather be busy than not busy. That's the way I feel. We'll have to, yeah.
Sure.
You'll have to let me know when that range day is, because I would love to come down and come join you guys this year on that range day. I missed last year.
Oh yeah.
I gotta work that out. I'll get a plane ticket and I'll head on down. It'll be fun. Come hang out with you boys. Alrighty. I think that'll do it, man, for the podcast. I don't have anything else really to talk about tonight, unless you got anything else.
Yeah, actually, Carson Hocevar got fined $50,000. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I missed that. I've not been keeping.
Yeah, he made some. He called. I think what happened was he was live streaming in Mexico playing some iRacing, and he called Mexico a shithole.
That's funny, dude. That's funny, dude. They fined him for that, dude. That's the most BDM thing I've ever heard.
50 grand and like sensitivity training.
Oh my god, sensitivity training for calling Mexico a shit. Oh my god, dude. Oh man, you can't make this up. He's cooked. He's cooked. They got him, folks. Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's insane. That's a great way to end this podcast. Let that one muster in my brain for a couple days. I did not see that. That's crazy. Oh man. It's in November's range day, and we'll have some fun toys at the range. Well, November's a good time for me to go. That would be a great time. I don't have anything going on in November. Heck yeah, man. I'm gonna have to make that happen, dude. That'll be fun. Come hang out with you boys.
Thank you.
Shoot some guns. Hang out. Go back to Georgia. Get some allergies again. I love them. I'm gonna try it though when I go. If I do go in November for that range day, I'm gonna try and get that allergy booster before I go and see if it actually works for me. And then if it does, then I know I can do it at Dega next year.
Yeah, you should try it. In fact, I need to try it too, because like right now, oh man, it's bad.
Oh, dude. My allergies, after I left Dega, I had them for like a month after Dega. They barely went away, like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I haven't had anything since. Like I'm good. I'm good to go. Like no allergies at all. It's the weirdest freaking thing, man. But it takes me like a month. Like I feel like every year I go to Dega, it takes me longer and longer to recover when I come back. It's bad. It's getting bad, dude. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know.
It might be a little bit of that herpagonisyphilades. You know what I mean?
Herpagonisyphilades. Yeah, no shit, dude. I thought I was dying, bro, for like 2 weeks straight, bro. I was sick as hell. Like just miserable sick, dude. I couldn't do anything. It was rough.
Yeah. It's still rough down here right now.
Hope to see you there. No allergies in November. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. We're gonna do our best we can to make that happen. That'll be fun to go down there in November. I would definitely like to do that. That'll be fun. Come hang out with you boys.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think that's it. It's probably pretty late there on the East Coast too, huh? Yeah. Awesome. The awesome podcast is fun. Tom joined us late. We got his reactions to the race this weekend. Another great racing weekend, especially with IndyCar. Absolute cinema. I can't get over it. Still, I gotta probably rewatch that race 10 times this offseason. That was freaking awesome. Great races again this weekend. We got Pocono, like I said, with the NASCAR series, Road America, which is one of my favorite tracks on planet Earth, for IndyCar, which is going to be another cinematic weekend. And then IMSA Watkins Glen is going to be another fun one as well. I love IMSA and sports car racing. Make sure you guys enjoy those races just as much as we will. I know you guys will. Also, go follow us on all of our social media platforms. Help us get some followers over there, and stay up to date with everything happening on this channel. Link in the description below to our Discord if you want to join the best racing community on the internet. all the drama, rumors, news, memes, whatever it may be with all motorsports around the world. It's all right here on our Discord. Post your own news, drama, rumors, news, whatever it may be, and interact in there as well. We'd like when you guys post in there. It's always a good time. Also, go check out our merch store. That link is in the description below. Go buy some Dega Boys merch, some Big Daddy IMSA, Big Daddy NASCAR, some Dega Boys shirts, hats, coffee mugs, bumper stickers, whatever it may be. Go find you some cool quality merch there. All those proceeds help us to make bigger and better content for you guys here on YouTube. And for the watch parties, I haven't figured it out yet, but we will make it up to you guys. Maybe we'll do 2 next month or something to that fact. We'll try and figure out how we can make that work. Because I missed not being able to do that watch party this weekend. Unfortunately, I just was out of town and busy. So hopefully we can make that up for you guys. Another fun podcast, Tom. It's awesome. Thanks for joining. Another fun Tuesday, episode 127. We'll cap it off there. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the races this weekend. And we'll catch y'all in the next one. And it was good to see you. King Camo, Nate, good night to you too, bro. And hopefully we'll see you in November. Talk soon. All right. Have a great rest of your week, guys. See ya.